Here we go. Nope. Hi. I tried restarted several times. It's slightly better, but it's like not ideal. Um, I'm cutting in and out again. It that we're having right now. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to. We are taking attendance now. So if you're here, just say you're here. Okay? Say you're here. Say you're here. Okay? Also, the two assignments, there are two assignments on Big Ideas right now. One is 10.7. The other one is Chapter 10 review. Because next week is spring break, we will have it due Sunday instead of Friday. So we have two assignments. But the actual due date, the actual deadline to submit is actually Monday and Tuesday. So you have a few more days. But to keep it on record, it is actually due Sunday so that you can enjoy your spring break. I mean, not like you're going anywhere, but just in case you want to enjoy spring break, we will not have class next week, right? So this is like the end of chapter 10. Okay, so let me count attendance real quick, and then I'll send out the video link again so you can go watch the video. Okay, the video is from this morning. Oh, looks like doing pretty well here now, isn't it? Frame rates are pretty good now. Maybe we can have class after all, yeah? Yeah? Is it good now? Yeah. So let's do it here then, yeah? I mean, since I guess you should never give up just like that. All right. So earlier I was talking about this part. Yay, hooray. Okay. So then to do this, your distance is your radius, right? So you're going to do like r equals square root. I'm going to do the difference between these 2 points, okay? So these 2 points. So it'll be x minus h square plus y minus k square, because this is x2 minus x1 square, y2 minus y1 square. Oh, okay. Looks like some lag issues again. Square both sides. Bad. Okay. Looks like we're lagging a little bit again. So it turns out maybe it's a bad idea to stream after all today. So for Olivia's question, yeah, you can always redo the question and go full credit. You are right, Cindy. So there is a thing that I do want to address with the assignment is that when you are doing the assignment, if you're in progress of finishing it, please click submit anyway when you're, even if you don't finish the whole thing, when you are right before deadline. Because if you don't click submit, then in my screen, all I see is you're still in progress, then I can't see how many problems you've done. So if you just have 1 or 2 left, it's okay, just click submit. We can talk about the questions once we're back. Does that make sense? So like, you don't want to leave it unsubmitted. Okay? Does that make sense? You always want to submit it right before the deadline. Okay? Just submit it, whatever you have, submit, and then I can look at if you know how to do it. If you don't know how to do it, then we can talk about it in the office hour. But basically, that's it. Okay? Make sure you submit. Okay, so let's continue. Seems like a stream is good again. Hopefully, don't jinx it. So, anyway, this is the equation with the circle. You would have a radius square. Notice that radius is square, and you have the coordinates in the x minus h, y minus k. Both are squared because of the distance formula, and you will have the r squared. The r squared is the one that people forget the most because this is sometimes a number. Okay. All right. So let's look at this. So how do I write an equation? So you have a center coordinates right now. So this is the center. This is the radius, right? So simple. Just do x minus h. So x minus h, h is 2, right? 2 for x. Plus y minus k, k is 2. Center coordinates, right? 2, 2. Is equal to r squared, which is 4 squared right now. So far, is it good? All right. So, you can leave it like this. You don't have to simplify. Okay. The next one, 0, negative 3, right? So you do x minus 0 square plus y minus negative 3 square is equal to radius is 8, 8 square. So when you do this, you can simplify this. So x minus 0 is just x square plus y minus negative 3 is y minus y plus 3 square is equal to 64. You can do 64, you can do 8 square. Okay, both are fine. All right, so on yours, I think, so your, on mine, when I print it, the picture didn't show up, but I think the PDF, so I fixed your PDF, and the actual one on yours has, actually has a, has a graph on number 3, right? Is that correct? So I'm just gonna draw what I have on the notes. So we look at the one on the right, number 3. So if you don't have notes, then keep in mind that this number 3 is supposed to have a graph on it. So I'm going to draw it here, okay? All right, here we go. So goes like this. They ask you for the equation while giving you this graph. So they give you a point called 3, negative 2. Okay, like that. And then you do kind of like this. The circle is kind of like this. Okay, it's tangent to the x-axis. Okay, 3, -2. So then, if that's the case, then what would be the equation? So first of all, what is the center? Center is here at 3, -2. So you can do r squared, which is the radius. What is the radius? But you have the center first. So x minus 3 squared plus y minus -2, so y plus 2 squared, right? 3, -2. What is your radius here? I'll give you some time. What is the radius here? R is 2. Right? R is 2. If R is 2, that means 2 squared, right? So you can just do 2 squared. Okay? Equals 2 squared. That is saying anywhere on the circle x and y, right? X and y represent anywhere on the circle. The distance from those points to my center 3, -2 is 2. Okay? That's what it's saying. Okay? Is that making sense? That's fine, video. I got you. Alright, so let's look at how to graph circles based on the equation then. So if we look at this, we are looking at an equation, x squared plus y squared equals 4. So if it's just x squared plus y squared, what is the center? What would be the center if there's no minus or plus? Zero, 0. Very good. Because it's the same as what? X minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared equals 4, right? So then, your center is 0, 0. What will be your radius then? What would be your radius? Is it 4? Is 4 your radius? What's your radius? 2, right? Because this 4 is 2 square. Right? This is 2 square. Okay. All right. So you're 0, 0 here. All right, that's your center. And you want your, so let's label this part for 1 and 2, right? So you want your circle. Usually when I draw a circle on a coordinate plane, it makes it easier, supposedly, right? So I'm going to use radius 2, starting from center. I'm going to go 4 points, okay? Right 2, up 2, left 2, down 2. That way, I will be able to draw a circle more accurately, okay? So how do I do that? You curve it, okay? You curve it kind of like this, by point, okay? So you're going to do this right here, like this. And then from here to here, you're going to curve it like this, right? One at a time. Don't try to do this whole circle all at once. It's not going to be too accurate, right? Positioning is the most important thing in the coordinate plane graph, okay? Then that way you can get a beautiful circle, okay? Making sense? You could use a compass, but when it's small, it's hard, right? I mean, you can barely use a compass to draw big circles. Now I'm asking you to use a compass to do a small circle. Isn't it really hard if you look at how narrow this is? And plus, I mean, if you really like compass so really much, just use compass. That's fine. Compass is a way. But when I'm just graphing, sometimes I don't want to use compass because it's just for a graph, right? But yeah, you're free to use a compass if you want. Cool. All right. So I believe your actual thing has 2 graphs here. Okay? So why don't you go ahead and try these 2, and I'll talk about the last part I want to talk about, that I didn't talk about this morning, and I had to do an office hour for that. But after you graph these two, I'm going to talk about the last part that you need to know for this section, or you should remember how to do, okay? But graph these two first. I'll give you some time, and I'll take your attendance. I think everyone's here. Let me go back and check the chat real quick. Is Sina here? Anybody know? Or did she leave for the other video? Alright, let's take a look at this one first. So the one that you have looks a little better, but I'm just gonna draw it here. X, Y, right? 2, 4 is your center, right? 2, 4. So 2, 4. And your radius is what? 16, so 4, right? 4 is your radius. So you go 4, 2, 4, so that means this part is 4, right? So it should look something like this. I don't have the graph printed out, but that should be what yours look like. Am I right? And this one, right? 3, negative 4. 3, negative 4, that's right here. And your radius is 3, right? So R is 3, so you can just do from here to here. Because this is 3, right? 3 is your x value, so it should be tangent to the y-axis here instead. Should look like that. Okay? On your graph should look a little bit better. Okay? Are we good for now? All right, so let's flip it over. It's blank, right? You should have a blank. So I want to talk about one particular problem that sometimes happens. Okay, so let's just say you have an equation, right? And they ask you to graph. So the equation looks like this. X squared minus plus y squared minus 6y or plus 6y equals, say, 27. Okay? Let's just say this. Now, it doesn't really fall into the category of your typical form, right? Your typical form is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, correct? So how would I deal with this then? Because there's an extra 6y here, right? So how do I deal with that? The answer is that we need to use something that we learned in Algebra 1 called complete the square. Okay, so I want to add something to complete the square in the one that has an extra part, which is here. I think I sent out an email earlier about this because fourth period didn't get this part. Okay, so I'm going to add a part here to complete the square. Why is it called complete the square? Because basically you have a y squared plus 6y right now. And what you're trying to do is you are trying to, so you have a y squared here. 6y can be split into 3y and 3y. And what's going to happen is there's an empty part here, right? You want to fill this part in. Okay, you want this part in. So that this side is equal to this side. These two are the same. So because of that, you can kind of like figure this out, that this has to be 9. How do I get this number? Because I can split 6y into 2 by using divided by 2 evenly, so I can get the side length to be the same. Okay, so the extra part I need to add is 9. That's called complete the square for this reason. Okay, plus 9 here, plus 9 here. All right, then what does this square become then? Isn't it x plus 3 times x plus 3, or y plus 3 times y plus 3, which isn't that y plus 3 squared? And this is still x squared. 27 plus 9, that's what, 36, right? So can we then write the center and radius? So the center will then be 0, -3, and this will be, r will be 6, right? And then now you can graph the function, okay? So that's the whole idea of complete the square and into writing equation, okay? All right, so quick reminders, 2 assignments due this week. One is called 10.7, which is this section. The other one is Chapter 10 Review. Both are on bigideasmath.com. So make sure you submit before, I think for 10.7 is Monday night, and Chapter 10 Review is Tuesday night, but technically both are due Sunday. I just give you one more day just in case you have some problem with submission. Make sure you click submit no matter where you are at the end of this, okay? Because you want to make sure that I can see that you actually finished the assignment. If you have like 1 or 2 left, it's okay, okay? Just make sure that you have most of them done and have them submit, right? That way I can see. It's fine, Jeremy. I got your grades in. But because that's the first time, right? So make sure that you have to, I think you have to go to the end of the assignment. So if you, at the end of the assignment, there's a submit button. Make sure you click submit. If you don't click submit, I can't see what you did. Does that make sense? If you have a problem, let me know before Sunday night so that I can talk about it. I can respond to you, and then that way you can wants me to explain the graph part. Okay, so the graph part, which is the previous part, right? This part. Okay, so first of all, from here, right? From here, I want to identify which is my center. So it's x minus 2, y minus 4, right? So the center is 2, 4. 2, 4, 2 for x, 4 for y. 2, 4. From the equation, this is equals 16. Usually this is where r squared goes, so r is 4. So when I graph it, I start with 2, 4, and I go 4 this way, 4 that way, 4 that way, 4 that way. I get 4 points, and then I draw the circle. Okay? So that's the graphing part. because radius 4 means 4 everywhere, right? 4 distance from 4. And that's why the longest point from the point to the x-axis has to be 4, right? And that's the whole idea. Does that make sense, Olivia? Any more specific questions? Anyone else wants to give a question? All right. So looks like we are done for the day then. Make sure you do your homework. Okay, that was a bad song. Try a different one. Bestis? Some soul and R&B. What? This is like music from the 60s. Explain J with center. This one? Okay, if you're good, you can leave. So this part, I'm going to look at center is 2, 2, right? So if you look at the equation, look at the form. It's x minus h squared plus y minus k squared, right? Equals r squared. Bye, guys. So x minus h, hk is your center, okay? Hk right now, center is 2, 2. They tell you, right? 2, 2. So put 2 here, put 2 here. Radius is 4, 4 is here. Okay, this equation comes from distance formula, which is talking about all the points on a circle, which is xy, any xy on the circle. The distance between this xy and 2, 2 is 4. So that's why you have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. The c is your distance, and the distance is 4. Right? Is that okay, Olivia? Oh, love you guys too. Love you too. Not in, yeah, you know. You guys know how I am. Goodbye. Actually, next week. Goodbye. Have a good break.